I've got to just read how it describes you guys, because I couldn't really say it any better. But the musical juggernaut that is Rock Mafia. How are you guys?
Yeah,
Did you write that?
I typed it.
Hell yeah.
Antonia, you wrote that?
I wrote that because I just want to make ourselves seem bigger than we actually are. So I thought juggernaut was a big word.
It doesn't get much bigger than 25 million records. 25 million records, all the artists that you guys have worked with. Now, you're jumping over to the other side of things. You're going to release...
The dark side.
The dark side. You're going to be artists. At what point, as a producer, do you get to the point where you're like, you know what, we're making all this money for all of these artists. Let's maybe try to keep a little bit more for ourselves and be artists also.
Well, that wasn't the motivation, but I get where you're coming from. The idea was just, it was a magical record. A lot of artists wanted to cut it. We tried a couple out on it, didn't have the same magic. And Selena and Miley and Zach and Vanessa, they all kept telling us, you've got to put it out. Just put it out as Rock Mafia. And I think all of our friends that we work with kind of just encouraged us to go for it.
And they jumped in on it. I mean, Miley starring in the video, and it was one of these things where we actually did it for the opposite reason, because we were offered huge checks to do it on these huge artists, and we thought, you know what, we love it, and we're just going to put it out.
Huge checks are good?
Yeah, we're stupid, in other words. Like, when you look at it,
we do it for the love, yeah, for real, man.
How do you get in the mix with people like Miley and to actually produce their music?
Well, we had a few hits before then, and we were helping her transition from Hannah Montana to being cool. So that's what, we had our first huge hit, See You Again. And we really sat there with Miley, and we really thought about, like, how can I do something that, Top 40 would embrace, and that they won't look at her as a tweener, and I think it worked great.
Yeah, you gotta love the Morris,
I know,
course,
right?
Yeah, Jim and Jason,
absolutely.
It's funny, Jim actually was my father's manager for a lot of years.
Wow,
I had no idea.
And one of the best stories he ever recalled was when he was managing Michael Jackson, and he went to visit Michael. He maybe even told you guys the story, but he went to visit Michael at Neverland, and they were out on a lake. He had a little lake there, and Jim noticed that the crickets were exceptionally loud that night. And so he mentioned to Michael about the crickets being loud, and Michael got on his little walkie-talkie and said, "This is number one to bass. Can you please turn down the crickets?" The crickets were fake.
Hilarious.
It's Disneyland. It's Disneyland.
I love that. It's like the smoke and mirrors thing. Sometimes it's magical.
Right. So I mean, you guys are obviously, you're pop producers. Is that okay to say?
Absolutely. We love pop music. It means popular, but we also do the Sick Puppies. They're on our label, and they're having a huge hit with Maybe, and that's super rock.
Are they on your label?
They are.
Wow.
Rock Mafia Records.
You know what? Interesting story about Sick Puppies, and hopefully, put in a good word. I'd love to interview the Sick Puppies.
Yes.
I saw them when they played, before nobody even knew who the Sick Puppies were, play a gig at the Mint.
We were there.
Dude,
when they came off the boat,
there was 12 people there, right?
12 people knew I was there.
No, that's so
I was there
sick.
because I was trying to sign a girl that played right after them, this girl Aubrey Collins, who didn't end up doing anything.
Hell yes.
But yeah, they played. So you noticed them at that show.
Baby, we signed them right away. We've written and produced all their records. They're like family to us, which is everyone at Rock Rock is like family. We just saw them 2 seconds ago. I ate off Jim's plate.
We'll definitely send them over here.
Yeah, for real.
Please do.
That's a great story.
That
And
is
we were at that show. That's amazing.
And we said, like, right when we were sold out, I think, the whiskey, like a year later and stuff, and we looked like how far they came. Because ever since Free Hugs, the viral video,
Right, huge.
Huge. That's what made us.
Who's their manager? Really nice guy. Paul Stepanek.
Yeah, he's an Aussie.
Is he still managing?
Yeah, he's right there stuffing his face.
And he should be. Money now.
He's got a lot of girth on it.
Well, listen, I can't wait to hear. Can we get a sneak peek at some of the stuff from the artist album? Will you guys?
Definitely.
We'll drop you a couple things, man. We'll come by.
Please do. And I know we're backstage at the Grammys, but you got to come into the studio and
we'd love
hang
to.
with us.
And you know what? You know what'd be great is if we have a beautiful studio in Santa Monica where tons of magic occurs, and nobody wants to leave. Once they come, you should come to our studio as well.
We would love to.
I know. It'd be really
Can we
fun,
bring the
right?
camera?
Absolutely.
Whatever you want.
It happens all the time.
Awesome.
Okay,
Guys, thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
Rock Mafia.